Welcome back. In this chapter, we're going to talk about sensation and perception, right? So it's using all of the senses in our body, and it's taking in and using all of the senses and then translating it, which would be perception, right? So sensing something and then making sense of it would be perception. So we have words like transduction and absolute threshold. What do those mean? Well, transduction is just when many sensors in your body convert them from physical signals and we encode them, right? We encode them and we start to make sense of it and we process it through our central nervous system. Absolute threshold is the point where we can sense something, right? So for instance, if you are listening to something on the radio, or you have the volume down to 0, you slowly, gradually turn up the volume to the point where you can begin to hear sound. That would be your absolute threshold, just the minimum stimulus it takes to sense something. Absolute threshold. Now, it also requires multitasking, right? When we're taking in so much stimulus from the environment and we're trying to make sense of it all, we need to multitask. And a lot of people are at a disadvantage when it comes to multitasking. I mean, think about the risks involved, right? Texting and driving, talking on the phone and driving, trying to cook while you're talking on the phone, or trying to manage your children while you're trying to get schoolwork done, or anything like that, right? Multitasking can be really complex and overwhelming at times for our senses. And we talk about the visual brain. You know, it's taking in senses through our eyes, obviously, but we see the world in 3 dimensions because our eyes are a certain distance apart, right? So the image of an object falls in a slightly different place on the retina of each eye. Right, so we're taking in senses through our eyes, we're making sense of it through our central nervous system, and it produces for us in our brains an image of what we're seeing in front of us. As far as sound goes, well, sound is converted into neural impulses within your ear, right? Again, we pick up sound waves. They enter our ear, they go through the auditory canal, right? Lots of cool stuff happens in there. The eardrum vibrates at a certain rate that corresponds to sound, right? And then it tells us what we're hearing. Again, our central nervous system makes sense of that for us, right? And we decide what we're perceiving is sound right now. What about touch? We also have touch receptors throughout our entire bodies. There are special sensorized neurons that are detecting pressure, temperature, vibrations, anything that's touching our skin, right? The weather, if we touch a hot stove, if something cool blows on us, if we're holding ice versus, a hot coal, things like that. So it's also part of surviving, right? So we need to know what's hot, don't touch that, but what's okay and soft and maybe pleasant to touch. Again, all of it. Our senses are making sense of all of it. And then we perceive, there's that output, right? And we perceive, oh, this is a rock that we're holding, or this is a soft little bunny rabbit that we're holding. As far as smell, taste and smell go sort of hand in hand, right? And they contribute to flavor. So this is why smelling a bouquet of roses is wonderful, but also it's essential to drinking wine. If we have any wine connoisseurs, they will always tell you to sniff it first, take a smell, and then put it in your mouth and begin to taste it, because the senses of smell and taste are so highly connected. And then again, taste, right? Taste, we lose about half our taste receptors by the time we're 20. So this is why you'll see little kids, tiny little kids, like sucking on lemons and it's no problem for them, or they might even like it. And then for us, we're like, nope, no way. So it does change over time. Our sense of taste changes, but also we're losing those taste receptors. So that can either make childhood wonderful because we have all these wonderful, amazing tastes, but it can also make it overwhelming. And this is why children can be picky eaters, we say, or they want certain things, they favor certain things. They have a lot more taste receptors than we do as adults. So once again, perception, sensation. taking in things through our senses, encoding it, right? Decoding it, and then perceiving it, making sense. It's telling us what it is that we're perceiving. Okay, that's it for now. Get on that Moodle page, discussion board, and I'll see you for chapter 5 next time. Take care.